Hello and welcome to the MotoGP Fantasy Preview Live. This time for the Austrian Grand Prix, it's going to be an action-packed weekend, as it always is at the Red Bull Ring, a place where actually Ducati have dominated in KTM's backyard in recent history. But we know how much that KTM have proved this year, so it could well be a little bit of a switch and them claiming back their own territory. Now, joining me for this week's MotoGP Fantasy Preview isn't a MotoGP rider, is it in fact a Moto E rider, Eric Granado, one that's been around in Moto E since the very first year of it, back in 2019, has been winning races in that class ever since then as well. So we'll bring in Eric and say a hello and a very warm welcome to him. Eric, it's
Hey
fantastic
mate,
to have you on. How are you? All good?
I'm good, very happy to be here and really looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, as we say, Austria coming up. I was looking back at some of the stats from you in this circuit, and you won both races here last year, and the year before you were on the podium as well. So it could be a very good weekend for yourself.
Yes. It's a track that I really like. Last year they did a change on the track on the new turn two and three, and it's really nice. I really enjoy here. Since the first season, I was very fast here and feeling good. I really like also the track, the all the people from here. The country is very nice. All the support that the people do here. Many people supporting the riders, so it's always amazing to race here. So yes, really looking forward. We came from two podiums on Silverstone, so yeah, I'm in a good shape now and very motivated for the weekend.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you as well about last time out in Silverstone. Of course, it was a little bit of a tricky weekend with the rain and everything, and probably one of the first opportunities you had to ride the new Ducati Moto E bike in the rain. So, how was that like?
Yes, it was crazy, especially on Saturday. The first race, especially, was so wet and it was so difficult to manage the grip and understand how was everything. On Friday we were riding with the dry conditions and hot temperature, more or less, and it was very cold on Saturday, really wet. I started in pole position, so the first laps on the first race was crazy because I wasn't first. I don't know, I didn't knew how was the track, how was the grip, and after the other riders overtake me, I saw okay, the gap is a little bit more there. I can push a little bit more, and finally I had a great pace in race one. I was struggling a little bit in the first lap, especially, and the race was so short, so I just can fight for the third position. In the second race, I was a little bit more comfortable and I could race with Casadei until the end. And I tried the win; it was not possible. He was a little bit faster in the last two laps, so I said, okay, I need to save this P2. Good points for the championship. Two podiums in a weekend is always amazing. So yes, happy to finish the weekend like this. Always difficult to finish races on these conditions. So yes, good and looking forward for the Austrian GP.
Yeah, well, as you say, good points for the championship, and as we pointed out, coming to a track where you've gone very, very well at indeed. So, Eric, we are here to take a look at our MotoGP Fantasy team as well. So we'll bring that MotoGP Fantasy
Let's
team
go.
up now. You've got a bit of an unlucky job this week because we don't really have much money to play with if you do want to make any changes. So I apologise in advance for that. But at the moment, our team isn't that bad, it has to be said. We have Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi in Gold Riders, and then in our Silver Riders, we have Fabio Quartararo and Alex Marquez. And the constructor, Ducati, the one to have, absolutely, so far this season. And our team is Gresini Racing, which is certainly not a bad one to go for either. So, Eric, just before we have a look at any of kind of the options, if we want to make any changes, of course, this place, Austria, the Red Bull Ring, has been dominated by Ducati ever since it came onto the calendar again in 2016. So, with that in mind, who are your riders this weekend that spring to mind as potential winners?
Well, to be honest, I think Jorge Martin were always very fast here until since the Moto3 category. So I really believe he can be fast here. So for sure, I leave Jorge like is now Gold Rider. I don't know really the numbers of the other riders to see if I can change or not.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, we
so
can
if you
have a
can
look at
check, I
that.
can. Okay, we just have 100 more. Yeah, but we can check.
Yeah, it's tricky.
I
So we
I
only
would
have
put
100 more.
yeah.
So it depends who you think in this lineup would be kind of the weak link, should we say, that you think could be replaced.
Yes, on riders, I think I leave Jorge. I leave Alex also.
Yep,
He's going very well. Uh, I really would like to see Fabio in the front, but the things are difficult in this moment for them.
sure.
So maybe we can
Okay.
see, I don't know, maybe a KTM rider, or because they
Well,
were fast in the past.
speaking of a KTM rider, Fabio is 2.3 million. Uh, Brad Binder is 3.2, so he's way too much for what we have budget. But Jack
To be
Miller is
honest,
the same
I
price.
would like to change Fabio to Miguel Oliveira. I really
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
I really like him as a rider, and I believe he's in a good riding now. He was
Racing.
very fast in Silverstone,
He was. Yeah, Miguel, of course,
and
won in Red Bull Ring as well
yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
2020. That crazy last corner double overtake. What that actually does as well, Eric, is it helps us with the second change. So we can make two changes, and it now gives us a little bit more remaining salary to play with. So we actually have 500k for another change if you so wanted to. You said you were happy with Alex and Jorge Martin. Did you say you were happy with Bezecchi in there? I think actually
Yeah,
Bezecchi,
I'm
this
happy with
was.
Marco. He's
Yeah,
fast also here. He won here in the Moto2, I remember, with
he did,
Jorge
yeah.
Martin.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can put yeah, the other riders that I would put, like Peko
Well,
or
so Marco is 3.5 million and we have 500. So we'd have 4 million to play with. Pecco is way too much. He's 4.7 million. So the reigning champ is out of the question. But pretty much anyone else would be. Maybe Brad Binder if you wanted to do Brad Binder. He's 3.2 million. Um, who else do we have that would be a top line rider? There's someone like Enea Bastianini. He's quite cheap at the minute. I was obviously back to 100% fitness, but struggling with the bike a little.
yeah, yeah. Well, I think
It could be the best option just to keep Bezecchi, but it does mean that
yes.
we could at least explore options on the teams because we do
Hmm.
have Grassini, who,
Constructor is no doubt is Ducati, so
yeah, exactly, yeah, Ducati is the one to go for sure. So if we were to what are Grassini, they're 2 million, so 2.5 million we would have. Oh, we'd struggle to get anyone else, which is a bit of a shame. They're kind of the only one is Aprilia, maybe they're 2.3 million if you wanted to put them in as the team. Um,
mm, we need
but it,
always to use all the budget, or if we leave
no,
like this.
you don't have to use all the budget. You don't have to use both changes. We can leave it like this if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Yeah,
Yeah, I
your
would like to put
possibilities
maybe
there.
Red Bull KTM, but no.
Yeah, too much, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the tricky with MotoGP Fantasy. It's
I think Aprilia can
yeah,
have from the last results good results with both riders, so
yep,
I think we can change
yep.
Gresini to
Okay,
Aprilia.
so let's change Grassini to Aprilia. Of course, this is
Less
one track actually
less
where.
race
Go on, Eric.
less race. Both no, all the Aprilia's riders were very fast,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I
Yeah,
think
they were very
they can do
fast.
well here.
They did actually struggle a little bit last year, but we know that they've made some changes to the bike this year, and it seems as though it has helped indeed. So, if we're happy with this team, then I think that's a pretty good lineup, to be honest. Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi still in gold. You brought in Miguel Oliveira for silver, of course, had that fantastic charge through the field last time, and Alex Marquez, who won the sprint in Silverstone as well. So we know that Austria is a little bit, it can rain just with the
Yeah,
flick
yeah.
of a button, so if it's certainly that again, then we might see Alex right up there, even in the dry as well. And then Aprilia as well, certainly not a bad one to go for. Um, in terms of Austria, Eric, we just wanted to ask you because it's quite a particular track. It's maybe one of the more unique ones that you go to on the calendar. Obviously, it's one that you like and go well at. So, how do you kind of get the best out of the Red Bull Ring circuit?
Well, to be honest, here is a track that you really need good confidence on the braking. We have many strong braking points. Turn one, the new turn four. On the back of the straight, and
Yeah,
also the other braking on the downside. I think it's turn six. I don't know.
something like that.
Uh,
Yeah,
so for sure, if you have a good confidence with the braking and a good acceleration with the bike, you can lose a lot of we can win a lot of time, and also have a good bike on the changing directions that you have on the T3 or in T4 and T4. So yes, I believe Ducati have a great potential on the braking. They can stop the bike really well and also accelerate a lot. So for sure, again, it'll be difficult to beat them here. From the last years, they were always the best on this track, especially. So yes, I think they have a great bike for this track. But I also believe Aprilia is in a good way now, and the riders are very fast, and I think it'll be a nice fight. And I hope my LCR riders can do well because of my team, and let's see what happens. But for sure, it will be a very tight weekend. The track is small, so the times are always very close. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one indeed, Eric. Just one final thing before we do let you go. We like to ask all the guests that come on to do the MotoGP Fantasy preview just for their predictions for the podium on Sunday. Don't worry about the sprint because the sprint is too much chaos to predict. But for the podium on Sunday, who do you think is going to be the top three?
Well, I will put two sides. The guys that I know, and what I believe will be real. So Jorge Martinez is a big friend, and he's always very fast here. So I would put him in first position. I believe Bagnaia will be on the podium again. So I will put Pecco second, and I would put on third position. I think I put Alex on third position. That he's in a very good shape. He was very fast in Silverstone.
Yeah.
So yes, I think this Jorge, Pecco, and Aleix.
Okay, nice. I like it. I think that's very, very plausible. Aleix, as you say, was incredible in Silverstone, and hopefully that carries on to here. Well, Eric, thank you very much for coming on and joining us. We don't want to big you up too much this weekend. You are very good in Austria, so we're looking forward to seeing what you can do this weekend, and good luck with the rest of the season as well.
Thank you so much, mate. Yeah, let's go for it and enjoy a lot the weekend. And that's it. I hope my predictions are good.
I'm sure there will be. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, so this is going to be Eric Granado's team then. Of course, Eric knows his way around Austria, so he knows what he's talking about, certainly. Jorge Martin got his first victory in MotoGP here at the Red Bull Ring just a couple of seasons ago, so certainly a very good option to go for, and he's kept him in the Gold Rider alongside Marco Bezzecchi as well, who picked up, as Eric pointed out, his first Moto2 win here as well. Miguel Oliveira comes into the team. Now that he's back to 100% fitness, we're kind of seeing that potential that Miguel showed right at the very start of the season before he got injured in that unlucky crash with Marc Marquez. So it's good to see Oliveira back to looking like somewhat of his best, and I'm sure that going forward here to Austria, a place where he's won at as well, it could be very, very good indeed. Alex Marquez stays in the team, and that's certainly a no-brainer at the minute with just how cheap he is. He's only 2.2 million. Certainly one of the ones that, if you are struggling for a budget, is a very, very good option to go for. There are quite a few decent options for real top-name riders, which aren't mega expensive. Aleix Espargaro, rider on fire at the minute. You can see that with the indication next to his name. He's only 2.9 million, even after his price has gone up 300,000 after the last Grand Prix at Silverstone. Brad Binder's 3.2 million as well. It's not too bad, and certainly Brad and that KTM this year are a combo that can whip out victory at any point going forward. Maverick Vinales, you never know what you're going to get with Maverick, but if you stick him into your team on the off chance, because he's only 1.6 million, well, it might well work out pretty well for you indeed. So certainly have a quick look down if you're struggling for money, because there are some good options indeed. Even someone like Augusto Fernandez, he may not be hitting those highs in the positions, but he gains a lot of ground in the races, and he's got 178 points throughout the whole season. You can see how that compares to some of the big superstars. Jack Miller, 2.3 million. Augusto's now actually a little bit more expensive than him, but he's hitting those marks as well. Now, we do have something to tell you. The half-season league, the brand new half-season league, is starting this weekend. If you go to the leagues tab at the top, you'll be able to see it there somewhere. Well, hopefully, maybe we click join a league. There we are. If you click join a league, you can see it there. We'll join it. We're not going to win it, so don't worry. The prizes aren't going to go to us. But if you join this league and you do finish top of that league at the end of the season, the winner will receive 2 VIP Village tickets to a Grand Prix of their choice for next season. So certainly well worth doing. Make sure you go and do that. So that's pretty much going to be it from us here at the MotoGP Fantasy Preview for Austria. It's going to be a big weekend. Historically, KTM have always announced what they're doing for the next season, whether it's riders or different projects or bringing different brand names into the series. They've always announced them here at their home Grand Prix. We've no idea at the minute if they are going to announce something or not, but just keep your eyes open and your ears to the commentary, because there could well be something, we don't know, but let's see what happens throughout the weekend. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and we'll leave you with one last look at Eric Granado's team.